Get it? Peace. What up? Welcome to the Man of Quality Hour. Today, as we talk about relationships, and then what's the model for your relationship? Is it Disney or is it religious? Peace. Waiting on Buddha, he having difficulty.
Nothing in my background.
Word. You good, bro? What's good, bro?
It's all good. Hold on.
Man, trying to wait for Buddha. He said he ain't got the email. I keep sending it to him, but it ain't coming through. But we can go ahead and, pop it off, shoot the shit a little bit. Like you about to pass out, bro.
Yeah, I was already there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I left my notes, so I'm just gonna wing it from memory.
All right.
Hold on a second. I gotta change. Yeah.
What's the deal, G bodies?
What up?
Chilling.
Yeah. Okay. I need
We
no.
right back. We right back.
Yeah, man. We're gonna crack some codes today, man. Probably couple heads too, man. See what they really about, man. Are they Disney? Or are they really standing on something?
No doubt. I'll be right. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. It's early. Today's topic is about relationship models. What are you following, Disney or something traditional or religious? Who taught you how to be in a relationship? Where do you get that from? It's a lot of funny style relationships out there. A lot of people winging it, don't know what they doing.
Yeah.
We're gonna take our time and relax with it, but I just want people to know what we're talking about. So we can, if you feel like you want to chime in, definitely do so. But yeah, that's just where we at today, man. Because we got to get it together, man. We all over the place, you know.
Put myself together here. All right.
Well, B's mic is super crispy.
Yeah.
DJ Mike.
All right, fellas.
Yeah.
I'm back in effect like Rex.
Yeah.
So we dealing with is it Disney? Is it Disney or is it religious in your relationship model? Who you patterning? What you patterning? Who you learning from? You can go ahead and kick it off, Tom.
All
Yeah,
right.
interesting for me.
What's that?
I said this is gonna be an interesting build for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Disney or biblical, man. A lot of us have ideologies when it comes to love and relationships. And just want to dig a little deeper in that right there because that's another one of those good ones, man. It's very common, but a lot of things that are common we just take for granted. We take for face value. We don't break them down and get to the nuts and bolts, atoms, molecules.
My question would be, what the hell does love mean?
Well, good question.
Yeah.
Better question is, what does it mean to you and I or us or whoever? Because that's a case by case sensitive thing right there.
And that, my friend, is where a lot of the problems come in.
Yeah.
How we gonna take water and have individual descriptions or definitions of water?
Yeah.
Like, we'll be confused in the motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a great point, man. And it absolutely would vary, man. We could sit up here and ask 20 different people, and you probably get 20 different answers, right?
Yeah.
Now, me, I would my answer would be a high degree of understanding.
What would yours be, BJ?
My relationship description.
Are you love? What would love? What is Joe? Like if you describe love, like what is that?
Yes, it's love is work. It's not. We try to pass it off as a feeling, but it's really work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we start out with this idea of what we think love is until we get hurt, till we go through some experiences and get lumped up. Like, wait a minute, I was taught love was this.
Yeah.
Grandma always said love was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we start out with a idea, so to speak, you know what I mean? And we kind of get caught up in that idea because what's attached to that idea? A good feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grandma, your parents, brothers, sisters, you know, depending on where you got that love from, you got some sort of an idea, right? To go with all these explanations you get. You know, so I went through a lot of ups and downs, ins and outs, and questionable moments based off of a conversation that was never had. And as I began to so-called develop what I thought was a sound idea of love, man, I was shown some positives and some negatives. It wasn't all bad, but it was, you know, it was something that I didn't expect. You know, something that I was never even privy to in certain rights and aspects, you know what I mean? So ultimately today, I think my summation would be love is work. Definitely work, because after you get finished saying I do or letting that person know that you feel a particular type of way about them, now you got to get back to the work. You know, now you know, hey, all right, I got to go back, make sure we got water, make sure we got wood, make sure we got whatever it is to sustain the life that you propagating. You got to get back to it. You know what I'm saying? And try to include, inclusive. You know what I'm saying, of this person or thing or whatever it is that you say you love, because we like to tend to love all types of shit.
Yeah. Real talk.
Yeah, so love for somebody else could be their wardrobe of shoes. So it's you know, perception and work is two different things.
What mean the world to you?
Yeah.
You know, my way of looking at it is a little bit simple, more simple than that. You know, not as better or worse, but it's just more simple. It's just two words, man. Two words I can offer a person that work hand in hand together. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes they're gonna see it as a bad thing. And those two words was patience and correction. You know, patience and correction. Sometimes you got to be patient with somebody. Sometimes you got to exercise patience with yourself. Sometimes you got to correct somebody. Sometimes you got to correct yourself. And to me, I just was thinking about it like, you know, because you know, I was looking at it. Are you Disney or religious? Meaning, um, are you
Magical.
love? Are you love or legacy? You know what I'm saying? And they work hand in hand for real because uh, love, legacy. I mean, if you love someone, which you using patience and correction, and your goal is to have a legacy, then you're going to be building everything you're going to do is going to build towards that legacy. You know what I'm saying? And so I just thought about that while we're sitting here talking now. Like, you can correct somebody, love somebody, and correct yourself, and be patient with them and yourself. Reach your goal, you're going to reach the goal every time. You ain't going to have no problems reaching that. But if you don't have that type of patience and you're not willing to correct the situation when it goes wrong, whether it's for legacy or not, it's just going to keep going south. But that's, like I said, I keep it simple.
Yeah, that's work.
Yo, peace, Cut. How you doing, bro?
That's definitely work.
Yes, sir. So, like we were saying, is it magical or is it realistic? We was coming up with different ways to describe the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, love, legacy, magical, realistic. What's some of the other ones? I wrote them down, but I don't have it. But shit, we can just go on my right.
Yeah, man. I just I got a couple of things here, man. So love is an action word. My understanding is it's an action word. So it's like just saying it, that don't cut it. Oh, I love you. That get thrown around a lot these days. But actions are different. Actions say a lot. So it's tricky too, because you might, sometimes you have people that you love, but you don't really deal with them. You don't talk to them. You don't see them. You know what I mean? And it's by design, because you might not have any trust there. You might have irreparable damages. You know what I mean? And it's just not safe to deal with somebody close. At close quarters. You might just have to deal with them from a distance or not at all, because of irreparable damages that have been suffered. So just to move forward, we came up with a couple of things that deal with the topic, as far as how certain people approach that topic. So I have the R&R scenario. Okay. It's called recon or respond. So recon would be like a proactive, really getting to know someone and doing background, doing, just taking the time out to get to know by observation, by evaluation, and those things like that, where you paying attention, you ascertaining a lot of things. And a lot of times we haven't always done that, and all this ties into our other topics, gentlemen, especially sexual responsibility. That's like super high on the list, because a lot of times we've had good sexual relations with someone and then swear up and down we in love after that, because of the euphoria, the euphoric feeling, I guess, from the oxytocin flooding the brain or something. But we've all been there. So I looked at myself. I always begin to end with self and how I treated this situation, you know, recon or respond. How many times have you responded, or, you know, do you still respond to stimuli and then consider yourself to be in love, or, you know, just really get to know a person and evaluate that person, their personality, their situations, their nuances. You know, let's talk about it, man. And also, okay, well, I just wanted to I want to break down
before you break that down. I want to step in and say a little bit like I was told once that we don't spend enough time with women before we get to know them and before we get with them. Like we be like a week, 2 weeks. That would be more like your response type. And then recon is like spending a couple years, you know, not playing games, but like, you know, playing with her in a way that can learn her. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Testing her out to see how she handle herself when a bad situation come, or you know what I'm saying? So that's like more the recon. We don't do enough of that.
That'd be recon. And recon is intel, gathering intel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't gather enough intel on them.
Right. And I wouldn't put a time frame on it. If it's done efficiently, then it's done efficiently.
I mean, I don't think you can learn about something and somebody quick. I don't think you can do that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I think it does take a little time, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's situational.
Yep.
It's situational. You can learn about somebody quick, but the situation has got to be right.
I don't know. I think it's hard to.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Let's just say we're 3 couples, right? Each one of us, right? And we used to things and dealing. We got our coping skills. All that stuff's already intact right now. But then now let's take all 3 of us in our relationships and let's say, like they show Alone. And we out in the wilderness. We gotta think of everything. Out in the wilderness, how we gonna make it day to day, everything. You can learn about a person in a situation like that because you're gonna see them in their purest form of being in nature. You know what I'm saying? If they flight or fight, if they buckle under pressure, you know what I'm saying? I think in a situation similar to that, where it's like everything's drastic and it's something that you're not normally used to dealing with, you could get a little bit of good insight on the person's character. But I think if we stay in this surrounding that we in, society, everything's comfortable, easy. You can break away from society and go to your room and have your peace. Yeah, it takes a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say, even in a time where things are hard, like it's kind of like figuring out a mystery. Like it's times where you be in a relationship for years with a chick, and she will turn around and be brand new in a couple of years.
Sure.
And the dude, it's times you could be in a dude to be in a relationship with a chick, and he's doing everything right. Something to happen, he want to be there, but he really don't give a. It's people wear masks, man, and we don't have the skills it take to break those masks down. And to add to what you're saying, B, to live in the wilderness for our city raised and what do you call it, sterilized. We would go through some hardship being in a raw environment. So sometimes we got to make the environment raw to see how she can take it. And, you know, that may take a little time, you know what I'm saying? Especially being where we are now. And if we could learn it fast, like, let me say it this way, just to add to what you're saying, that it could be possible. It's the individual, case by case. Some people may go in being fake and phony, but then turn around and realize in that time period, I ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? I need to get my act together. I'm not being honest, and that honesty had them turn around. So
the thing that we tend to look past a lot is human behavior, and that's what you tune into when you're in, let's just say, the wilderness. Watch their human behavior. It's gonna say more than their body and mouth is gonna say. All you gotta do is watch their human behavior. You know,
no doubt.
We're not the scientists we're supposed to be in a lot of instances, but we're very intellectual beings. Just like we learn how to create different forms of martial arts from studying nature.
Mm.
You got to get back to that. You know, that's a lost art right there. Being, and you know, me and you talked about this plenty of times, Fala, being keenly observant. What does it mean to be keenly observant? That means you're active in the moment. You're observant of, you know, the smallest to the biggest. You know what I mean? And they say there's nothing in nature that can't be measured. There's nothing in existence that can't be measured. So if you keenly observing, yeah.
Yep. And so that takes me to like dealing with, like, sometimes, like, you know, brothers want to, I'm gonna focus on us first, is brothers want to be the prince to save the princess type mentality.
That's Disney.
You know what I mean, yeah, the Disney. That's why I'm gonna focus on the Disney side of it. How people want to be, you know, we first thing we do is we go out to get the money right, get our clothes right. We want to look right, say all the right things, make her feel beautiful. You know what I'm saying, and all that shit, and then they vice versa. They want to be taken care of and treated special, and all that bullshit. Then they say, well, you don't love me if you don't do that, or can't you see that I love you? You know what I'm saying? So that's like, I think you said this the other day, B, which we both know that if we have a word and we define that word as what it is, and we stand on the meaning of it, it holds more weight than us redefining it each person, right? So we would have to agree to an idea of what love is, and then share that with our love, with the ones that we love, the ones that, you know, that we say we love, are the ones that are dear to us, and share that to them. Hope they understand it and see it. Then when they understand it and see it, and that message like starts to spread as it being a one way to love someone, then it'll have more weight. But like if we all redefine it with the Disney aspect, you know, what, like, all right, let me ask this: what does Christianity say about love in a relationship or in a marriage? What does Islam say about that? Where does love fit in when you're building a legacy?
I don't yeah. They say some things. I want to throw something in there too. The fact, before we get, you know, before we go too far off of that point, I want to point something out. Okay. When we say Disney is really just paraphrasing for Hollywood movies, you know, anything that come on a big screen. Right. It's always been about, you know, what? Either you have the damsel in distress, or you just have the pretty woman, you know, the pretty girl, and
The Snow White,
just all that knight in shining armor, you know,
the Rapunzels, whatever her name was, a chick that had the long hair. Yeah. The magical, mystical.
Yeah.
whole new world.
Yeah. Gotta have the music. Always gotta have the
The
music.
musical.
The magical music. When it's love time, you'll know it because the music's playing. You know, the sweet.
The birds chirping your
Yeah,
window.
man. Yeah, man. Just super magical. It's so magical. Just
Stars line up and spell. I
yeah,
love you.
that's my key word, man. It's
Yeah.
everything's magical.
Yeah.
It's so magical. But in real life, you know, it's not so much. You know, that magic is hard to find most of the time. Right? Now, let's look at how long this been going on. You know, because we've been dealing with that for so long that it's natural to us. You know, this whole topic is everyday life.
So at that conjunction right there, a good segue would be Coming to America,
That's a good one.
because at one time there was arranged marriages.
Absolutely. They still
Still
go
is
on.
in
They
some
still
parts
happen.
of the world.
They
Yes,
still
I said,
yeah.
I don't know because I'm not connected over there, but what was the purpose of that? Like,
Legacy.
where was the goal involved? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Legacy.
It was legacy, but it was also backed by religion. You know, uh religion made it okay. Religion said that this was an okay thing. This was a good thing. Um, in in Islam, you can marry for money. You can marry just to be an upstanding person. You know, and not be not be in the world engaging in fornication and you know, in those type of things. But love don't come up a lot. Love don't come up a lot in any of the books, not in the Bible, not in any religious books. When you know, speaking on relationships and marriage, you don't see a lot of love. It's there, but not, you know, not so much that it's a lot of emphasis and focus put on it like we put on it in our everyday life in today's society. You must you hit your mic, B. You went mute.
Now he's on.
Like he said something, and I didn't hear anything. Um, yeah, Hollywood been doing this thing for a minute, man. Matter of fact, I saw something interesting I wanted to share right quick about television. Television in the United States. The body of television programming created and broadcast in the United States. American TV programs like American popular culture in general in the 20th and early 21st centuries have spread far beyond the boundaries of the United States and have had a pervasive influence on global popular culture, global pop culture, global pop culture. So, Hollywood's worldwide, man. Walt Disney's worldwide, and it's really a thing now. But is it serving us? Does it serve us well? Does it serve people well? You know, does the Walt Disney Hollywood love relationship serve most of us well, or serve any of us well? How many of us? You know, in my experience, I gotta say, no good, no good. That's a no good for me because yeah, I don't have very many good happy endings to report for this show right here. You know what I mean? And it's been times I swore I was in love just seeing a girl. She was so pretty. I was, oh my God, I'm in love. I like her. Some girl at school, you know, or even at a job or something, or that you know you see around or something. Intentions and purpose. Intentions and purpose play a heavy role. So how many relationships have you entered where the concept of love was introduced, but you didn't have the purpose, the intent of love, either initially or sincerely? Just saying.
That's been a few times, of course. Once again, going back to my limited knowledge of what I was doing, really on all levels. You know, we swear we got it figured out, but yeah, I've had a few experiences where it was just like the hype. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everybody said that was a notch to have. That was if you get that one, oh man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Like
yeah,
that's an infinity stone or something.
right.
And you know, we fed the response system, you know, women, and that's telling people what sound good or showing them something that look good, you know.
Check this out. I just read a Bible verse, and I'm not even into the Christian thing, but I want to research it. And what I was saying earlier is love is patience and correction. And then see Ephesians 5:25 says, God, husbands, love your wife just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for the church. And in doing so, if you look at what the stories of Christ was about, it was about correcting the people because they were wrong in their living, and he was patient with them. And that's exactly what he's saying, to love your wife like you would love Christ. And I'm just saying, I'm not even into that.
Yeah, I'm all into teachings of the man. But yeah, let's talk about that, man. That's pretty deep right there.
Yeah, so I think like what we said, when we go through all these pains, these problems with love, how can we know what love is and nobody sit us down to talk to us about it? We didn't see we have to see our parents and our environment expressing that type of love. You know what I'm saying? Because what it is we see so many different expressions based on the definition. How do we know which one is the one that makes sense? And that's what it come down to. I mean, my personal
Which one make you feel magical?
I would say my personal idea of what I would like love to be makes me feel more magical. But to be patient with people and to be correcting, meaning you have to, like, if they have mental illness, you have to be patient enough to stick that shit out. You know what I'm saying? If they do have something wrong with them, you have to live a life that corrects them in a way that's patient.
If you love them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you say you love a person, you have to be willing to correct them. You know what I'm saying? And if your way of correcting them is wrong, you have to correct yourself, love yourself, and be patient with yourself to do it right until you get a turnaround.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like you can just, like I'm speaking of myself. I had the best running shoes on the planet. Oh, you say something I don't like, pew.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out. And so I realized that was being kind of, I wasn't learning nothing. I was running from people that I should have been there. And because even when you can't reach a person, you learn lessons. You learn how to reach them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
learn that maybe your approach is what's wrong.
Yeah.
So it starts with self-love.
That's that conflict resolution right there.
Right. It starts with self-love. Give
You
yourself
learn too that y'all may have different love languages too.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be true too. But like I was saying, if you give your love yourself first, and you give yourself the love that I'm describing, that like is described in the Bible, is you patient and correcting. You may have to correct yourself and be patient with yourself to grow into the new person you're trying to be. And that same love is what you're gonna give to somebody else, because the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and that way, if we teaching, like if I teach my kids that, and we all teach our children that, that energy will radiate, because we'll start to build a structure in the community that's solid.
Like we said, trying to make the many one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, we all got to be vibrating the same, So that's definitely that we need to be moving towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where's the magic at?
I think the magic comes. This is me adding adding the two together. The magic comes after the hard work, because then when you get like so many years deep, you make that shit look easy. It looks magical because it look easy as a motherfucker. Like you got it down, but you really worked and went through some hell. You struggled and strived for that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time when this should look magical to me. But without that hard work, man, you just really, without that understanding and correction and the patience is what the main thing. The patience would take the work. You really just, it builds our character too. To be patient with yourself and then show that same patience with someone else. How strong are you? Excuse me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So that's all good stuff, gentlemen. All good stuff, man. Let's talk about some of the magic. Let's talk about some of the black magic.
Yeah, like some people think the sexual magic is love, because you hit that sweet spot.
I think it's safe to say that we all built relationships around booty before.
Yeah, we built our castle between somebody's legs. Yeah.
And it always end up boo.
You always end up moving. You can't find your castle. Like, where the fuck this motherfucker done?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sounds good. Like everything we talking about makes sense. It make a whole lot of sense. But if you've been programmed, a lot of people program and don't even realize it.
We all program.
Yeah, we all got some level of programming.
No doubt. And that's a major one.
Then the question would be, who's running the program?
Yeah, indeed.
Who's the architect?
I would say a lot of that is us, man.
No doubt. But
I would say we sleep behind the wheel in a lot of aspects, because this goes back to what we were speaking to earlier. Where's your attention to detail? You just moving out here. You're not taking the time to think about nothing that you do. You just moving for that next feel good moment, that next piece of stimulation.
Yeah.
Next emotion.
Things outside of you. It's not, you're not operating from no type of intelligence within.
Mm. So
They gotta say it, because look, you got these sneakers taking over. You can start a sneaker deal and make money like you selling used cars, selling used sneakers. How far replaces our work if that's where we put in our work? You know what I mean? What value is that having? And we already know since the 20s, when we started putting rubber on our feet, we've been having blood pressure problems and all these other types of health problems. But where we at with it? We still thinking we need these shoes in the abundance. I need a whole house of shoes.
Yeah. So check me out,
a
B.
whole lot of magic.
This is what I say to
Whole lot.
help cure that would be correction and patience. The problem is we wearing these fucked up sneakers with rubber bottoms. So we correct that and we take the patience it need to create the new level of shoe that we got. See, that's really loving ourselves. Like that shit is so powerful, bro. Like almost everything we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna say patience and correction and show how that shit can fix it. And it's gonna be the way we should love ourselves, man.
Hmm.
You know, that's what I would say, man, because that's the hardest. We don't know what patience look like. I'm gonna tell you what patience look like. Patience look like excellence. Name the best of the best. They had patience to get that to the level of excellence. And they had correction. They used the correcting each and every thing that wouldn't get them to that level where they are. They use correction to do it. They love their craft. You could say they love their craft, right?
Or themselves.
Or themselves doing the craft, so that the way they love themselves is expressed through their craft. And if they showing that type, you see what I'm saying? And if you show that towards your community, you see something wrong in your community. It's rubber soles in the community. Nobody's connecting through the soles of their feet to the ground we walk on. We change that to where it's a conducive to electricity that we need. Change them damn shoes. Be patient enough for everybody to catch on to it, because it may not be. Most of the people don't know what the love feel like. You know what I'm saying? To somebody to give them a better shoe. You see what I'm saying? To give them a better car. We don't have enough patience to create our own automobile. We don't have enough patience to design our own clothes. We get pre-designed clothes and tag them. Somebody making that shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't have enough patience it takes to learn architect and rebuild buildings. We just going along like now that I can see this talking with y'all, the way we call ourselves loving is exactly the way we present ourselves in society. We just everything is already set up. We try to go along to get along, and we try to just feel good about the moment. You know what I'm saying? We want a house. You get a house real quick. You feel good about that. You got a house, but the end result is the shit is running your bills up. It don't have your character or qualities in it, or do it. You know what I'm saying? But I just I can go on all day with that one, bro.
Yeah, you would probably think it wouldn't, because we move from house to house so much. If you took the time and put your blood and sweat into building that house, I bet you wouldn't be moving in no 2 or 3 years.
I bet you wouldn't.
I bet you wouldn't.
And if you use that same quality of correction and patience, I bet you it'd be like the houses of old, where you can build it now and it'll last for 100, 200 years, because you constantly improving on your technique. You being patient with yourself enough to do it and create it and move forward. You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And so the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. Once you get the correct model, you know, like we were saying, what is your model, right? So is it nature or AI, or AI or nature? Disney is AI, artificial love of what the world, what relationship is. Nature shows an exact marriage of how things come together and blend. We can come up with different ways. We can just look at the way the human body blends two humans together. That's what I want to look up next. What does the Quran say about love in relationships? I want to look that up too. Then see what Hindus say about love and relationship. What do Buddhists say about love and relationship? And see if it's not worded in some shape, form, or fashion to have
Yeah,
patience.
I'd like to hear the one on Buddhism.
I'll look that up.
I've always been kind of intrigued with a little deal because I heard that practicing Buddhism is to learn what it is to suffer, right? And we suffer from everything according to Buddhism, right? Like if you sit down for too long, you begin to suffer from sitting. So you either want to stand up or you want to change the position from, you know what I mean? So I always thought Buddhism was kind of interesting, how they always reference to keep from suffering. You don't want to suffer from anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of insight on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Let's see. All right, I'm looking in the index of love, and I get sent. It says love of Allah, and then it says love of one another. So I'm gonna go to one another. We got 863, 21, 59, 9 and 10, and 67. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 references in this whole big book. Start out, take it from the top. Surah 8, Al-Anfal, Spoils of War, 63. And moreover, he hath put affection between their hearts. Not if thou hast spent all that is in the earth, because thou have produced that affection. But Allah hath done it, who's exalted in might and wise. Affection. That's a good word. That's a word I was gonna throw out there. Affection. Affection between their hearts. Do y'all think that affection and love are the same or something like that?
I'm gonna look up affection.
I don't think so, but we can definitely look it up.
Word up. All right, let me keep it pushing while we do that. Okay, boom. Next we're gonna go to 3021. Romans. Among his signs is this, that he created for you mates from among yourselves, that you may dwell in tranquility with them, that love and mercy between your hearts. Verily, in that are signs for those who reflect. $59. Did you come up with that, Jet B?
Yeah, I got it. I got a couple of them.
Okay.
But, starting out, noun, affection, a gentle feeling of fondness or liking. That's one, right? Then it goes to the archaic, right? The act or purpose of affecting or being affected. A condition or disease.
Damn.
Of the skin. Yeah.
Yep. So that's like, to me, affection has nothing. That don't even seem like it should even be a part of what love is. It's something you can do, but you can not love a person and give them all the affection they need.
You can be affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, affectionate. That's affection is gentle, you said.
A gentle feeling of fondness or liking.
Mm.
She felt affection for the wise old lady.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So what is love? Did you get the definition of love? Did anybody get the definition of love?
Well, I
Yeah.
went to Buddhism and looked that up, and it has a couple of things that I think mimic Christianity a little bit. It says for
So
the most. Go ahead.
the definition of love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Intense feeling of deep affection. That sounds magical. That sounds like magic.
That's magical right there, my nigga.
A great interest and pleasure in something. Number two is a great interest and pleasure in something.
Mm.
That sound magical too.
Yeah, man.
That sweet spot.
Yeah, boy.
Right. Then the verb is feel deep affection for someone. Number two, like or enjoy very much.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
relations.
See that right there is magical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Oh,
if you look at what the Bible say, it
yeah,
don't
I'm
say.
going to that next.
The Bible don't say, and I'm looking up Buddhism. Buddhism is kind of magical too, a little bit, but it's not. It's like it's saying this is what it's saying. Buddhism, it is a pure feeling that you give unselfishly to another living being. It comes with a total feeling of comfort, knowing that you haven't caused pain or suffering to anyone. Instead, you help bring joy. But then another one, they say that it's deals with it inclusiveness, meaning if you suffer, I suffer.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
what
it.
what they
That's,
also saying that you need four elements of love in Buddhism. One is kindness, one is compassion, one is joy, and the other one is inclusiveness. So
mm.
like, you know, I mean, I had to deal with that harsh on my end because these things are not within the nature of man to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me spit this one out before, real quick. This is the New International Version right here. This is in the dictionary in concordance. It says love is wanting good to come to another person, being concerned and willing to work for another person's benefit. Psalms 23:6. Surely your goodness I will follow. Psalms 136, 1 through 26. Love endures forever. Okay. I ain't gonna get into all that. I like the definition. This definition right here. I like this definition. Wanting good to come to another person. Yeah. Being concerned and willing to work for another person's benefit. How about that one? I like that one.
Say that again.
Being concerned and wanting and willing to work for another person's benefit.
What does that mean though?
That's the definition of love.
Nah, what I'm saying is what does that look like? What does that mean if with that definition, what does it really mean?
Being concerned
Benefit for you to work for someone else's benefit.
for another person's benefit.
Yeah.
To me, that speaks to how you were saying earlier.
You work for your whole family benefit. Well, go ahead, B. I didn't mean to cut you off. He was saying, what was he saying earlier?
Remember how he was describing how we go get our money right, go get our looks right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get all our little ducks in a row, and then we go basically to find whoever that woman's gonna be, right? And then on the other hand, you were saying how they expect for us to put them on the pedestal, do for them, treat them this type of way, and
Yeah. Because
all
that's how
right?
you do it. That's how you do it on
We,
that's how.
yeah. But that's an example of them
That's
corrupt.
Disney. That's Disney. That's Disney
Yeah,
love.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I just was asking.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was seeing out of it. I mean, yeah, you could. I wouldn't mind doing certain things for my queen's benefit off of my back. Yeah, lift them heavy groceries, put them up on the counter. Yeah, because I know you're gonna chop them up and whatever.
Yeah.
We both benefit, right?
Purchase said groceries.
Carry them home. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that work.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, there's some things that I'm like, wait a minute, that's not love. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Now check it out though. But I like this. I like this a lot, actually, this definition or that second part of it. But so that's out the Bible though, man. Look at how much of that do we have? Can you look around you know, and find this where you have two people who are who show concern and are willing to work for the other person's benefit.
Yeah, like I said, that right there is like, you can't love nobody more than you love yourself.
I mean, you can, but it probably won't serve you well.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the way that it's being presented right now. Is saying that I gotta love, be willing to work for someone else's benefit, but the benefit you have to first give yourself that benefit to even know what it's like to share that with someone else. You see what I'm saying? It still go back to you correcting your rights and wrongs and being patient with yourself, do the right thing, and then you can help other people with that.
Perhaps. But here's the thing, man. I think it's safe to say that the majority is on Disney time, man.
Yep, a lot of us are, man. We want the love that makes us feel good, and it makes us feel like that it's on our side. But
right.
And we want it to be like that 24/7. And if it ain't like that, if it's like that for a year straight, and then one day come and it don't feel like that, it's a problem.
like, what do the Hindus say about love and marriage?
Let's ask them.
It says
Hindu.
in Hinduism, marriage is not followed by traditional rituals for consummation.
Consummation.
In fact, marriage is considered complete or valid even without consummation because the marriage is between two souls, and it is beyond the body that joins two families together. That right there means that it's built on duty.
Duty.
It says here many Hindus see marriage as a lifelong sacred ceremony that binds a man and woman together. It takes the Hindu couple into the second ashrama and is believed by many to be the right situation in which to have children. So that goes back to duty. They don't have the concept of putting love in there like the Disney love. Now there may be some love that I think infatuation, it makes it easier to enjoy the duties, but it's not necessary, love. Now that goes back to if you're doing it for duty, you're gonna, and it's an arranged marriage, you're arranging your marriage. This is me thinking hypothetically that you're arranging a marriage on what genetically is this person going to bring to our family? What intellectually is this person going to bring to our family? What are we going to give to that family? Love has nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with it.
Correction of what we would do to each other's bloodline and the duty of taking care of that and being patient with your family and your children that come from that in order to see them grow into the next level. It- it's patience and correction. It still goes back to just those things. The only one that switch it up, the Christians say it, the Muslims say it, the Buddhists say it. It's about duty, and that duty to build the family and to build nature.
To
Not
work for someone else's benefit.
and Hindu, the Hindus say it.
Hindu is the deepest. So
You know what I'm saying? So,
Hindu is the deepest so far.
but from what my interpretation is, they all say come to the same conclusion: correction and patience. You know, and it makes it easier. Even in the Kemetic say love is correction and patience.
Okay.
You know?
I wouldn't say I got that in the Hindu. I got but
It's for two families. The two families are coming together. They're not loving each other when they come together. They have a purpose.
right.
And that purpose is dealing with the next generation.
Yeah.
That means their duty is to the next generation. And they are going to do what they can to guide that next generation, which is a corrective measures. And they have patience within their families in order to see it grow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Christian. If you love your wife like Christ loved us, Christ is very patient, and his whole teaching is about correcting us.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same teachings are in the Quran.
What that say about me? Because I don't want to be corrected all the time. My wife try to correct me all the time, and it gets on my nerves.
Well, I would say, like, we having this conversation don't mean that a person, let's use like a woman in our lives, we don't have the right to abuse that concept to think she can correct me all the time.
Yeah.
She got to correct herself. She got to love herself. And correct yourself before you try to correct me, because I have to worry about correcting myself.
That's my stance, man. Is this a 24/7 recognize and acknowledge each other's observation, and then and you still always have to be more concerned with self-correction today.
Some people try to like weaponize information, and make it to where it suits their purpose. But the fact that a person would tell you something like that, and they weaponize it, do they show the same discipline for their own life? You see what I'm saying? A person can't tell me what something is, and they out of control with their own life with it.
They could tell me, because I might be able to recognize the truth and the wisdom in their words, even if they're not walking it out. I do that all the time. I that's why I say you can learn a lot from a dummy.
You can learn what not to do.
Yeah, that counts.
What I'm saying is not from you saying from someone close to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Close to me, and they want to correct me. Yeah, okay. Then, but your words have more gravity than you have walked through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then
that's just like constructive criticism, right? You can catch some constructive criticism, and it'll benefit you if you keep it constructive. But
yeah, if you can build from it.
Yeah, you can absolutely build from it. That's what make it constructive.
Yeah.
But
now the best person to learn from is somebody that constructed they constructed their lives and learned through something, so they can criticize when they see you doing something wrong. They learned them the lesson and say, hey, this is what I did. You could try this. Try building it this way. Versus somebody who ain't never built shit, but heard someone say it and conveying that message to you may not have the gravity that you need in order to convince you that that's important to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like,
But that's
you go to a wise man ain't know he's not smart enough, so he goes to the person that's smarter than him to get the job done. That's wisdom. I don't go to somebody that's on the same level as me. I go to somebody that's smarter in something I don't know.
Well, sometimes you don't go to nobody at all. Sometimes the constructive criticism just comes to you from an unknown source or
keen observation.
No doubt. But anyway, I don't want to get off topic. I just threw that out there, man. We got we all can agree that that Disney kind of put us in the trick bag, man. Right? Disney put us in the trick bag, man.
I don't know if we can just say Disney put us in the trick bag.
That's just a figure of speech. That's just a figure of speech. I say Disney, but I mean Hollywood, just big screen, TV, radio, music, all of that. All of the above.
That I think those mediums kept us where we at.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was going on before those mediums came.
I agree.
Disconnected.
It propagated. Yeah.
And so those mediums came along and enabled them to keep us discombobulated, so to speak.
Is it human nature? Is that just human nature?
What's that part?
Is that human nature for us to create corruption? Damn. And somebody monetize the corruption. To want what you want, to be emotional. Somebody that know better say, you know what, we could do a lot by keeping them in this position.
Come on, man.
And only I'm just gonna be honest with you, not being malicious, but like because they just know that it's a multi-million-dollar, game, and as long as they manipulate a few people and pay a few people to show that this lifestyle looks good, then we all start to follow along with it.
So what you think, Sel? What you think that since you hit the bonus round, what you think sell more, love or sex?
I think the idea of love through sex. So I'm gonna say sex. The fantasy and the feel good moment of what because sex is a hell of a drug. It's better than cocaine. It's better than all kind. I don't care what it is. That drug right there is self-induced. You can self-induce. You could, you can find somebody that knows how to pull on those chemicals. That's easier to sell, but it also shows that there's a weakness in the individual buying it. Because I'm speaking of myself because I was a purchaser. I was a purchaser of the, not like financially, but my time and energy and life force went into obtaining the sex.
Yeah, no doubt. What you think, B? Love or sex? Will sell more?
I'll kind of follow Vlad because the love of sex, like we speaking to, we don't know what it is to love first. So that value is put outside of us, number one. So now you're saying which one will sell more, love or sex? Nobody trying to be loved. Everybody trying to get that stimulation.
They trying to be hated. That's the same energy.
There's no goals involved. Look at how they want to curve the population now. To me, it can't be no love if you can justify wanting to take life. If we all had love in perspective, we all had goals in mind when we made our babies. it wouldn't be just a throw in the bucket. Oh yeah, we got to kill about this many people.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be an easy topic to table to me.
no doubt.
You know what I mean? To just say, yeah, this is what we got to do, man. We keep having these babies. We need to figure out a way to bring the death rate up to the birth rate. Like, yo, that wouldn't be something that I would be, like that wouldn't be an option for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because every child that our so-called father, he's Thanos. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking he's gonna be the next greatest me. So why would I fathom taking him away? Like,
yeah,
so that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. It's like we've been speaking to, if we put those things back in perspective, I don't think we would be this extra proliferation of citizens. We wouldn't have all of that.
no doubt, no doubt.
Oriented, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we wouldn't be constantly chasing a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Chasing that feeling, chasing that feel good feeling, that this magic.
Yeah, that'll change to us chasing how to ascertain the most successful path for my child or my heir to be as successful as me when they come. That's what my job is. I'm out here trying to pave that and keep that road clean. So when you come down, it won't be much of a hassle. You know what I mean?
New hassles.
Yeah.
New shit to clean up. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's gonna be work always involved. Like Falah said, we gotta be good stewards. You know what I'm saying? But then who's laying that model? Who's showing us how to be good stewards? What grass need to be pruned? These weeds is not healthy for us, and what weeds are good, what we can use them for, all types of stuff, man. We far away from it, but we got to get it back, and it's coming back too. One of the last bills I wanted to make mention, peep the news, how they doing the 10-day forecast now. You know what that remind me of?
What's that?
That's the drill.
The drill?
10-day weeks.
Yeah, that's a drill. Calendar.
3-week months.
Keeping us in the spiritual, that's a spiritual calendar.
In certain aspects of the way society's going, I see it going back to that original model, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I do too, man. I do too.
Once again, where's our attention to detail at? Are we really paying close attention?
Yeah. 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 I mean, I see a lot myself, man. I see a lot of you see a lot of different lifestyles. You see a lot of natural lifestyles, tons of that. Tons of propagating exercise and healthy eating, right lifestyle, yoga, stretching, a lot of that. I see a lot of that myself. So, yeah, I can absolutely
and to go right along with that, you see how the more and more we do our due diligence, all these religions are beginning to tie into each other. So now it's going to be the next thing, like Falah said, once again, going back to the originator. Who was the first educator? We know it was our moms, but who was the first one that actually thought of keeping these records to preserve humanity and to preserve these different ways and medicine? And who was that? You know what I mean? Where'd that model come from, right? And that's what I'm seeing come back. That model is starting to rear its head. But if we're not keenly observing and in tune with time, we can miss and be treading a lot of this all over again. You know what I mean? We can get it right now. Clean the blood up now.
No doubt.
Good stewards now.
So just to put it in perspective, man, I like both of y'all's answers, man. I'm adding them together. Work, patience, correction.
Yeah.
Work, patience, correction.
To me, patience and correction is like a breakdown of what the work is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna throw another one out there too. Consideration. That's my thing. Consideration.
So consideration to me is like saying you allowing a tolerance for something.
Well, what I was thinking was you think of someone as you work, or it with intention and purpose. It ties into intention and purpose. Consideration is intention and purpose. You absolutely have someone, that person in mind, your spouse.
So you speaking of consideration like from a verb standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the action.
Yeah.
It's consideration. Oh, let me, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm doing me. Hold up. Let me, oh yeah, let me, you know what I mean?
Right. Give this person their flowers or
yeah. Or their medicine, or their
I would call that compassion.
Compassion.
Yeah, having compassion for someone, and doing so, you're considering what they're going through. You're being empathetic. You know what I'm saying? That's what that means to me. You're being empathetic. But like, see, those things, you can be passionate for someone as a byproduct of why you need to love them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but I'd rather say consideration, because I'm not gonna remember all that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes
sense
for us to really come to agreements. Like, the gods didn't create nothing in existence without agreeing that this is what it is. One God goes out of alignment of the agreement, it throws everything off and causes confusion. And that's one of the reasons why we have to really, really have a clear understanding of what we are saying something is, because that way we can hold each other accountable to what we're talking about at any moment. Because you said it was a flower, I said it was a flower, B said it was a flower. Now here comes somebody else coming saying, no, that's a tree. And we done fucking clearly said, and all of us agree in the God kingdom that this is what it is. So that's why, like the definition ain't my definition, of what love is. It's if you look at the things of excellence in nature, the greatest things in nature, instinct is a culmination of entity living, an animal living his life and learning what to do and not to do, and then making a better choice. And then they passing that information to the next generation, and then they doing the same thing. So that is a corrective. That's a corrective way to do things. A model. That's a good model. How nature corrects itself and puts it to the next generation instinctively, and it's also patient with everything. Everyone has to honor that. Just when a child is walking, they got to be patient for those legs to get strong enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's the nature quality. That's not a love quality.
I still stand behind my word, because it covered. It's it's semantics that could be involved, but you got a good grasp of the difference. That's what I really wanted to do. That's what I really wanted to point out. Just another one as far as the perspective boost. Because seriously doubt, it's one of those things that people don't even. I don't even think the majority of people ever even put that much thought into it. It's just a thing that's accepted. You know, it's just one of them things that been around.
Hit mute till you ready to talk. You got heavy background noise.
I do.
BJ. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we just buy into it. We bought into it. We just bought right on into it. Right? At a young age. At a young age. We had a model of some of us had both parents, or some type of model. If you didn't have them, you had your grandparents, you had aunts, you had a model somewhere. And then and even if not, you filled in the blanks with the Disney cartoons and your magical movies or whatnot. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what are you saying? Because I want to try to understand what you're saying. Are you saying that it's a good thing?
All I'm doing is going over the content thus far. That's all.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. You like where are we going with it? Because like I was saying, we want to try to come to some type of understanding that we can agree upon, because then we set the precedent for what like the same love I'll give to my children is the same way I love y'all. Like I ever since y'all know me, I'm always, I'm quiet. If I'm not quiet, I'm always trying to correct something to make it better, or researching something to make it better. And I'm sharing it with somebody so they can see if it's right or not. Am I making the right choice now, or did I not? So I'm always searching for that, because once we all doing better, once each one of us is doing better, we all doing better.
Yeah.
So if we all understand the concept of how we love, we can practice that same form of love with each other and with our mates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Me in the conversation, I'm like an ant. When they go to get food, they take so many steps and then they turn around and look at where home is, and then they go some more, then they do it again. That's just me in the conversation. But that's what I'm saying. As far as I'm concerned, that's covering ground in that work, patience, correction, consideration.
Yeah, I mean, I just see two words, and two words encompass work all day. But consideration, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Like
you said, two words encompass work.
Yeah, patience and
correction encompass work.
That's work. That take work.
Patience and correction takes work. So if it takes work, how does it stand in for work?
Because you try to be patient and you try to correct something without doing no work. It's just words.
Patience and correction is work. Same thing. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm saying you can't be patient with someone and not work on yourself, and you can't be correcting of yourself and not do the work it takes to better yourself, or to help someone, to convey a message to someone that can possibly help them. It may take you having to work on your delivery. It may have to take for you, it takes a level of work. That's what B was saying that earlier. Like, it takes a level of work just to even do those two. And it starts with self. We said it. We all said that it starts with self. So we got to work on ourselves first, And if that means that we got to correct what is wrong within us, first, that takes work. That takes being honest with yourself and amongst other things, and then really putting in that effort to make those changes. That's a lot of work.
So you saying, so you don't even have, instead of using the word work, you could just say patience and correction. Oh, I gotta go do this patience and correction.
Yeah.
I'm getting dressed to go do some more patience and correction.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, that's what it is. If you make working a job
About
working on yourself, that's two different things.
what about exertion? What about energy output?
That's the
the work
same thing.
is too.
That's the same thing.
That's the end result of work.
That's not the same thing. Put
That's
energy output, and patience and correction. That's not the same thing.
I mean, you know, what does that got to do with love? You know what I'm saying? That would be my next step, because you can have energy put for some bullshit.
You could.
So, but you can't be patient and correcting on some bullshit, because that means you're gonna correct your bullshit.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't have you can eliminate that and just use those two words and keep it simple. It's just simple that way. And you doing that right there is enough that encompass so much more. The outcome of you putting in that work on yourself to be patient and correcting will have your energy, and your energy will be different. It'll clean your energy up. Your output towards the world will be the same input on yourself.
I don't disagree with that at all. Only thing I'm working with is putting those two things in the place of work, and it mean the same thing. That's what I'm chewing on right now.
So I know that's what I'm saying, is this makes it easy.
Because you saying that
correcting yourself and being patient with yourself. That's the work.
That is the work, but you're still using the word work.
Right. The action of doing those things is work.
At what point do you need
the action of doing those things is work? It has an outcome. That's what I'm saying. The act of actually correcting yourself. How do you correct yourself? It takes work. And to be patient with somebody, it takes personal inner work. It has a verb type of you know, use those words as a verb, and you can use them as different parts of speech. That's what that is. It takes work to do those things. You can't say that
to take work or it is work, like by definition.
That's one and the same.
Yeah, yeah. Where are we going with this? It's the same way. You're gonna do the work or take time to do the work. The end result is, if you don't actually put in the effort and energy to get the job done, it won't get done. Meaning you actually putting in the time and effort to better yourself. Meaning if you do something wrong, you're using the correct thought patterns to check yourself and then make the correction. It all takes a certain amount of energy and movement.
And thinking.
I don't disagree with that.
Thinking is the application that comes before the work.
Okay, B. So you agree that
I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
Patience and correction, and then that's it.
Yeah. That's the application.
That's the application.
Yes.
Okay. And
because we're looking at redefining the models, right?
Yeah.
The models that we practicing are corrupted, right?
Yeah.
So the applications that we practice they're not patient and corrective.
Right.
They're keeping us discombobulated. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So we need to go back and retweak the application, which is look at what it is to do the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The work is patience and correction, and how it ties into integrity, responsibility, and purpose.
Okay. So okay.
So it's an application. It's almost as if you was cooking spaghetti, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the application? Cleanliness, need some fire, need some water, some ingredients to make this spaghetti, right? So you can follow the application of preparing the meal, right?
Mm.
So now take it back to how you moving in society, how you working on your becoming, how you gonna move throughout your development. There's an application that has to be in perspective, right? Your approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your purpose, your responsibility, all these things require what?
Patience and correction.
Correction. Because when you first learn how to walk and take your first steps, was it right out the gate?
Mm-mm.
You had to be patient, learn how to get your steps right.
Correction.
And you corrected yourself while doing that. That's the work.
That is the work.
See, it
Okay, so
eliminates it eliminates the filibuster into really loving somebody by loving yourself that way. And once you get it down for you, you can extend it to other people. That's the energetic quality of it. And it makes it easier. It flows easier. It flows easier. And if we can, that's one of the things we need to do is like, one of the 77 is thou should not use excessive speech, right? I don't know which one it is, and I feel like some type of way about not knowing it because I had to remember that. But
Yeah.
like, using a lot of words to say something that only require a few. That's the master. That's what the masters do. They learn their minds enough to say a few words to describe a multitude of things. And the best way I can describe love, which everything that people say it is patience and correction. That is not me. That's what I've learned to do from my teachings and from masters who knew how to say what they needed to say with so few words. It required you to do the work, which was to be patient with yourself and correct your line of thought. And once you did that, you understood where you needed to grow. And that's what it makes it easier for you to help someone else to see that same thing, to correct themselves and realign, be patient with themselves till their body catches up to what they realign themselves to. And out of doing so, we all in accordance with that, we build great things because we'll always correct each other when we're wrong, but we'll always have the patience to come up with new ways to help each other see that. So then you got a community that continues to build and they build with excellence because now they don't have the feeling, the connotations of their speech coming in to block the best of their creations.
okay. Yeah, I'm processing it, man. I don't argue just for the sake of arguing, just because I like to argue. I like to process and especially new concepts.
Yeah, because you want to be able to apply them.
No doubt.
Yeah. And that's basically what we're doing. We in the process of looking at it like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right?
Yes, sir.
But can you speak the 1,000 words?
Can you know what I would say, B? To add to what you're saying, can you paint a picture, a simple picture to express those 1,000 words without saying that meaning? Can you paint a picture with a few words in the mind that created a thousand ways for them to break it down in their mind?
And so what that's saying to me is we got to look at our approach. We know it's many different approaches, right?
Mm.
But how many of those approaches are going to give humanity momentum, right? So we always want to look at our development and our becoming, you know what I mean, along with these approaches, so we can make sure we utilizing the best step for humanity, you know what I mean, to, improve on that love, so to speak.
Okay. No doubt. So just work. So what if you say work instead of saying you say it's the same thing, right? So we could just say it's work. You
Yeah.
want to say the most with the least.
Yeah, and to me that would be the approach, because you want to know if you're up against a thinker. If you're up against a thinker, they're gonna say, well, what is the work? But if you're up against somebody who don't care to think, they're gonna take your answer and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go give me some work done then.
Yeah.
And they ain't taking the time to look at what work is to be done. You know what I mean? So it's like you run across a thinker, somebody who's choosing to utilize their 7.5 ounces of brain matter,
Mm-hmm.
and you say work, they should turn their head to the side a little bit and be like, wait a minute. It's all types of work.
Yeah.
What type of work are you speaking of? You know what I mean?
Patience and correction.
Yeah,
The answer.
and that's what we want to attract. Thinkers. Come on with it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that should start a conversation. When you say, are you doing the work? If they just say, yeah, I'm doing the work, either trying to be one or two things. They're trying to be elusive, evasive, or they're really not trying to think and make sure they're doing good work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Better themselves overall.
Yeah, because that's like we say this too, man. We measure uh progress with outcome. So if a person say they doing the work, then what is the outcome? That should be something that can be easily seen. And they don't even have to say nothing. That energetic, as we were saying, that energetic field will reach out before their mouth is open. That you can those unseen forces that we come that's within us communicate to each other that this person has been changed or they are changing, and you can feel that when they walk into the room. And that's because they're correcting themselves before they walk into the room. You know what I'm saying? They getting themselves together before they come into the space. So that's one of the ways that um like one of the chat said that so is the correction is being patient, right? And then he said, hold on, I want to see if I can put this up here because he said I'm kind of with light skin. Seems like two different things. He called you light skin, Tom.
Yeah, I see that, man.
And so, my thing is that there's correction. One thing, hey, you did this wrong. Then there's patience. You got to be quiet and you got to be quiet and in peace to allow them to grow. Or you did something wrong. Okay, you did something wrong today. We'll make the correction. You know what to do and give yourself time to get it in practice. So it's two different things that work hand in hand. You're on mute, B. You're on mute.
Yeah, I think he's talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yo, my bad. Saeed calling me.
Okay.
What was the last question?
No, I thought you was talking to us because it looked like you was moving your mouth.
Now and get the cash from me, or do you need the cash?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, put him on mute. Don't need his personal business being
Mm-hmm.
out there. But yeah, that's that. But like I said, man, it's just a matter of seeing it clear. You know what I mean? Everybody gonna see it when it's time for them to see it.
No doubt.
He muted himself. Yeah.
My bad, fella. Saeed trying to take care of his he needs some cash to pay something. But anyway, yeah. I'm back.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so that's what and like if you use that same concept, right? Let's look at the problems that we have in our relationships, whether they with friends you got a problem with, or with women we got a problem with. Generally, if you make the correction in self and you help the person to see correction, it generally works out. And if it don't work out, it's because that person is just being hard headed. You know what I mean? They being like just you can't change everyone. But if you making that effort, hold on. If you making that effort to be patient with yourself and communicating that with someone, and you doing it with the intent to better that person. See, a lot of that has to be within it. What is your intent and purpose while you're making that correction?
Value, equality. Yeah, man. All right.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If we take that time, like, in my own life, I realize sometimes like my approach will be imposing. Sometimes your correction of someone, you can be imposing your idea of correcting them and forgetting the fact that, do they need your correction? Sometimes they need you to just correct yourself and show them the model of what it looked like to correct yourself. They don't need you to show them. That's why I said some people can weaponize this information. Women can kind of do that real good. Where they hear this shit and try to bring it on you, like, well, you should be accepting correction. No, you should be correcting yourself and showing me how to do it the right way. If I'm that much of us out of line, you should be showing yourself by you should be showing your work by correcting you and being patient with yourself, and then exercise some patience with me, because it may take me a minute to watch you do it. And so it starts with self before we can extend that to someone else. And sometimes being correcting yourself is the best way to help somebody correct themselves. You make a mistake, hey, okay, you see it, you change it. People around you will see you made a mistake once, but you made the correction, and that take time. That take time to learn? Can you watch a person do that, make a mistake, then correct themselves? It may take some time. They may have to go through the whole emotions and everything about how they just did this and blah blah blah, and then they come back to the reality and they make the correction. That take a little time. People don't change overnight. They change with like anything else, with hard work over time. Spiritual kung fu, physical kung fu, mental kung fu. It's hard work over time. What up, TJ? How you doing, bro? See you checked in.
Yo. Yeah. He checked in at the end. You're gonna have to rewind the whole demo, brother.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. But if you got something to add, TJ, man, go on and put it in the chat, man. We don't have a problem with addressing it, because this is really about like understanding the difference between Disney love or natural love. Because that's what I'm looking at too. Like, Disney love is an infatuation. It's this feel good. You got to constantly keep stimulating me to make me feel a certain way. But natural love sometimes hurt. You know, you gotta do shit to build muscles. That shit hurt. It ain't no feel. It ain't no always feel good type of situation. So yeah, there's a difference. It's not gonna always be good. You know, and that patience is what another thing that hurt. You know this person's being a certain way, and you got to sit back and bite your tongue because you know they being ornery. And then you got to find this. That's where we as men start building. Find something to do, man. Distract yourself from yourself and from others by building something that lasts. You know what I'm saying? Like we were sitting there tripping off. Like my son was like looking at Union Station, right? And if you look at Union Station and you look at how it is in several cities, it doesn't look like any architect in the city. So whoever built that built it to last. And that's the way we got to build our relationships amongst each other as men. And we got to build our families to where it's built to last. And it only takes a corrective attitude towards the way you're building, the way you put that shit together. You know what I'm saying? And it takes us to be patient and learn, realize it may take us a couple of generations to get this shit right. So it's important for us to teach patience in our community because we so far behind the 8 ball. You know, as Brother B would say sometimes, you know what I'm saying? We so far behind it that, you know, we really got to be able to put patience so deep in our children that they understand and they know how to correct their shit to when they have children. Them children are born instinctively with being patient with life and correcting the shit that they can. And everything they touch will just be better and better. They know this. That's why they distract us with all this sex, you know what I'm saying, drugs, good paying jobs, you know what I'm saying, shit that's gonna keep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Shit that's gonna keep us all the time.
Just money, period.
You know.
So, all right, let me ask this: what would be a answer to that?
To
That mindset you were just speaking.
I mean, my way is extreme. My way is extreme, but you know, sometimes we got to learn to deal with less. You know what I mean? Because that less is constant. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Here's an approach I think might be interesting. What if we took health, right, and gave it a 1, and everything else zeros, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you put health before everything else, let's just say that everything else is family, finances,
nah, Dom,
everything else, right? And you got the 1 health in front of all that, you're looking at like 10,000, right? But if you take health out and just have everything else, which is 0, your value is nothing.
That's a good one, bro. That's a damn good one. Yeah. And that's physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health.
Word.
Man,
1,
that's deep.
and everything else is 0. This is something that I wanted to, when we had the last building, I remember I was telling y'all I had something on health I wanted to build y'all on.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of it. Now there's another part dealing with like dynamic health. You know what I mean? I want to get into it with you guys, man, because I'm interested to see what y'all guys' brains get out of it. You know?
Man, that could be our next show, bro. We can put that on the next show to you know, take it to that level and, you know, give us a chance to look at that a little bit more because I like that a lot. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I'm into the mental health aspect of it.
Straight up. And you know, because every time we build, I'm looking for how can we be, like Tommy say, how can we be practical, tactical, you know,
and technical.
And make this application like watering plants, you know. And I think it starts with simple applications like that. Like, look at your health. Like, if your health is out of whack, then how does anything else have value for real? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I agree with that. I'm kind of stunned because I agree with that so much, and I know that that's part of it. If you don't have people, the man who got his health can be here. He can make more correction. Let me say it that way. The man that got his health can be around to make more correction, versus where some of us, like, I'm just dealing with how a lot of us live. We drinking a lot, smoking a lot, going out banging a lot of women. We get into our 40s and 50s. We look like horrible old men. We can't handle nothing in life. By the time we 60s, a lot of us are cashing out. So
Yeah.
we on our deathbed, and we should be able to live to be 80, 90, 100 years old and make more decisions that benefit our culture later in life. You understand what I'm saying? Because we've lived through, we've made a lot of correction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've actually exercised patience and what's that one word that we all need? Compassion. And man, I agree with you, bro.
Then another thing to tie into that is basically what you was just saying is looking at who you are in all of those environments. What is your health like in those times when there's abundance and there's peace? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like being at a buffet, right? We pigging out, we eating more than what we need. So it's like your health is poor in a certain, depending on how you look at it, right? But then let's say what your health is like when it's a catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
Great, because now you holding on to this. Everything is scarce. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
different capacity. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to look at our health in all these different arenas that we in, and
Mm-hmm.
we are in these different arenas. Like, what's your health like when you're in an argument? Who are you when you're in that environment?
Yep.
You as healthy as you are now, or are you acid, or caustic? You know what I mean? Caustic. You fire. You burning. What
Mm-hmm.
like in that environment? You know what I mean? So that's speaking right to what Falah is saying. Like, we got to go through all of that with a fine tooth comb and look at who we are in all those environments and steps necessary to become, you know what I mean, the best version of ourselves, you know what I mean, on our becoming, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, that health is, that's the start of it, right? No, no wealth.
No doubt.
Yep. Yep. That's right there. So that's a key component. What are you becoming? Your health is always telling you what you're becoming.
Word.
Yep. That's like, and yeah, that's what it says. Are you gonna be a fighter? Are you a quitter? Are you lazy? Are you doing it for show? Are you doing it for health? Sometimes what we go through is to make us become something better. So we have to understand that what good health is not what we're told good health is. Good health is what is helping you become what you are to become. And so yeah, I agree with you, B. That's deep right there, bro. I like that though. You give the value 1 to health and you give 0 to everything else. And if you got that health with the rest of those zeros, those numbers can get big.
Yeah, buddy.
You don't have your health, you got nothing.
Mm.
Man, that's deep.
Back to the drawing board.
Health is
Yeah.
wealth. Health is wealth.
Yeah. Going back to the senses, your sense of wealth and your sense of health intertwine.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yep. Intertwine. This is a good bill, fellas. I mean, we started off dealing with
Disney.
Disney world and the real it
Yeah.
was to actually in our real world and less of that Disney shit. You know.
Mm-hmm. That magic.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like so I would say this: the more we learn about our health in the different realms of where our health could be better, that shit makes us look magical.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to control your mind and your words with to be powerful with less, it makes you magical. Because you can say some shit and have somebody pondering it for months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You paint a picture in their mind, they thinking about that shit for months. That's magical, nigga. That's powerful shit right there. Are you working on your health and you defy what logic say you should or shouldn't be doing? That's magical. Yeah, that's taking the shit back into our hands in a different way and
Right.
start take the perversion off of what it looked like. You know, I think bro said something about being in love with two women is Disneyland. I mean, it could be.
Hell no.
It could be if you're doing it for the pleasure of it.
Yeah, if your purpose and your intentions is
Yeah, but if you really being like what we're talking about, where you really care about them women, you want to see them become something great, and you taking care of them from the standpoint of what your nature is, then that's that's what we should be. It's way
putting in that work for them.
yeah. I'm
But
gonna say something that
are they both putting in the work for you?
yeah, I'm gonna say this so what people won't realize it, but there's more women than men. And a lot of women that's out here on that ratchetness, this is because there's no man in their life giving them no stability. So it's nature for us to take care of more than one woman, especially if you got daughters. That's your extra women. You know what I'm saying? And then you grow up a little bit. There's women that need that structure. So I don't see nothing wrong with it if it's done the right way. But if you're not, you're just trying to be on some more player shit, and that will be Disneyland. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's set in stone. That's just my opinion.
Word. And I feel that because once again it goes back to if we're looking at, like we said, purpose, integrity, responsibility, and we got goals in mind, right? What are those goals? And if those goals are for you moving humanity, like, you know what I mean? What's wrong? Let's look
Right,
at let's talk about what you think is wrong. You know what I
right.
mean? Now it's a matter of approach. So let me explain to you where I'm at in my approach and my application of being patient and corrective in this situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's going to begin to boil down to. Where are you standing at on this square? Are you on the edge? Are you planted firmly on it like you should be and operating from a higher science? Or are you on some low vibration? You know, are you trying to clean up the blood? What are you trying to do?
What's your purpose? Yeah, going back
Yeah.
to the purpose. You know. Yep.
I think that's it. We're so weak to the flesh, you know what I mean? We immediately jump to, oh, you on some BS of some sort. Don't nobody need more than one woman or more than one man, or you know what I mean? So we immediately jump to the carnal, the whole, yeah, that's caveman mentality. You hitting women over the head, taking advantage of them. And I'm not saying with a club, you can be hitting them over the head with words.
Mm-hmm. Clubbing them with them words.
Yeah. So once again, your purpose, your responsibility, where you at? You know what I mean? Where do you see yourself fitting in to nature? You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, fellas, we've been on here for two of them. You know, got a good build. I think this is something we'll be able to pick up later if we do a little research and dig deeper. I think we kind of be hitting it hard. And yeah, we got some stuff to think about. And so we might want to start to wind it down, call it an evening.
Where I'm with it. One thing I like to say as we wrap up, I like how we're taking the time to look at what's the first step to correcting this model. You know what I mean? We're not rushing through it. We actually doing our due diligence and perspective, putting things in perspective to me, because that's like that goes a long way with me, knowing the steps, being in tune with the steps in the process, so the application is transparent. I think if we keep on doing what we're doing, we're gonna get there real quick. I mean, get there. I mean, get to what our actual first step is towards recapturing. You know what I mean? Culture, diet, what it is to optimize health. You know, all of those things.
Right.
No doubt. All right. Yep. Good one. Yeah, I'm ready to get ready for the morning.
Yep. All right, fellas. As always, man, we building deep. So
I'm gonna try to make it to the shop tomorrow. Tomorrow's an open day for me, so I'm gonna see if I can catch y'all in between when y'all ain't too busy or something.
no doubt.
A little bit. I'll bring that information down and let y'all look at it or whatever. If y'all want to make copies of it or whatever.
No doubt, bro.
Yeah.
Peace.
Salute. Yeah.
Yep, here.